Hey class, Absolute 5 here, and today we're going to talk about dividing decimals with decimals. So let's get right into it. Okay, so dividing decimals with decimals. Now that sounds confusing as is, but guess what? It has to be done. So let's get right into the step. If I can write, oh my goodness, how tiny do I have to be? Okay, so note, how do I do this? First thing you have to do is move the decimal point in the divisor, to the right until the divisor is a whole number. Is a whole number. That's the first step. The second step, then move the decimal point in the dividend to the right the same, did I write that twice? Move to the right the same number of places as, as the decimal point. Point was moved in step 1. So finally, the third step, divide. Not divided, but divide. So how do I do this problem? How do I showcase this? To do that, let's make myself a little bigger. You gotta see my pretty face. All right, let's go down. Okay, let's say I take 2.3 and I wish to divide that into 764 thousandths. Okay, so according to step 1, I have to move the decimal point in my divisor. So this is my divisor. Move this to the right until it becomes a whole number. So all I had to do is move this over by 1. The second step says I have to do that as well in the dividend. Again, this is the dividend. So I move the same number of times as I did with the divisor in step 1. So that's also moved over by 1. I'm going to now rewrite the whole problem as 23 into 107.64. Now divide. So can 23 go into 1? No. 10? No. 107? Yes. 23, I'm taking a guess. I'm not going to say 5 because I know it's going to be too big. Let's say 4. I multiply 3 times 4 is 12. 4 times 2 is 8. Add 1 more is 9. So let's use 4. Too low. 4, so I get 92. So 23 times 4 gives me 92. After I subtract, I get 5. After I borrow here, I get 1. Put the decimal point right there. Bring down the 6 because I know 23 cannot go into 15. I know 23 has to divide into 156. So let's use 23 times 5 because I want to get closer to it. So let's say 15. I get 111. I can do better. 23 times 6, I get 138. So 138, so 23 times 6 is 138. After I subtract and I borrow, I get 18. I finally bring down the 4. Sorry. I'm going to say, let's take 8. I'm feeling lucky. Let's take 8. 8 times 3 is 24. 8 times 2 is 16. Add 2 more. I get 18. So 8. So I get 184. Subtract. I get 0. So my answer for this problem is 4.168. Sorry. My answer is right here. 4.68. Okay. So let's do another example. So remember, review real quick. Well, I'll review it at the end. Sorry. So let's continue on with another example. Let's say I wanted to divide 5.6 into 166.88. Okay. So the same rule applies here. Sorry, let's check my notes. Same rule applies. I move the decimal point over from the divisor once to make it a whole number, and I do it again here in the dividend. So now I get 56 into 1,668, and then I have to figure out how many times does 56 go into 116. I'm going to take a guess. I'm going to say 3. I'm going to get 168, so that's obviously too big. So I use 2, I get 112. So I put it here. After I subtract, I get 54. I bring down the 8, because 56 is too big for 54. So 56 times, I'm going to take a guess, 5 maybe? 280, no, that's way too small. That's way too small. 56 times 5 is too small. If I multiplied, here's a hunch. If I multiplied 56 by 10, I would get 560. So that's too big, but I'd be much closer rather than sitting here working my way up to 6 and 7 and 8. I might as well go straight to 9. Since I know 10 is too big, I get 54. 9 times 6 is 54. 9 times 5 is 45. Plus 5 more is 50. So that's much better. 9, I get 504. I subtract, I get 44. Put the decimal point, bring down the 8. Alrighty. Now we're talking. So now let's think. How close? I'm going to say 8. Yeah, let's say 8. 56 times 8 will give me 48. And there we go. I get exactly what I need. My answer is 29.8 as my answer. So, sorry. So, the review would be this. When you go up, remember when you're dividing, the first thing to do is to move the decimal point in the divisor that many times depending on where the decimal point is. The second step is do the same in the dividend, and then you divide. So for homework, now I'm going to give you a little hint for that one. 0.16 into 1.976. So the hint obviously would be the decimal point here. You have to move that decimal point over until 0.16 becomes a whole number. So the hint would be well, the fact that you have to change this from a decimal to a whole number, you'd have to move it over 2 times. But remember, whatever you do on the outside, well, not on the outside of whatever you do to the divisor, you have to do to the dividend inside as well. Okay? So that's the lesson for you guys for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave me some feedback down below, any comments. Leave your answer down in the comments below. like, share, and subscribe to this channel. And I'll see you guys next time with another video. This has been Absolute 5. I'm Roger Palomino. Math is infinite because there are infinitely many possibilities. Don't forget, don't hate, calculate.